small group instruction, and some Spalding work. And our big ticket item this year in K-1-2 is the Waterford program. All students in Tier 2 will receive Waterford, individualized to each student for use during the class time as well as at home. During small group, the teacher will focus on the skills and strategies that they need that have been designated by the results from the assessment. For students in grades 3 through 6, one of our tabs for tonight, those teachers will work with students with the Quick Reads program from Pearson. And the Quick Reads program are short passages that are theme-based in nonfiction texts that focus on fluency, vocabulary, reading comprehension strategies, writing and responses to objective and open-ended questions. Teachers will meet with their students and engage them in Quick Reads dialogue and activities 3 to 4 times a week for 15 to 20-minute rotations. Tier 3, and something you need to remember and keep in the back of your mind, what's the difference between the Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions? It is the duration and the extent of time. So on Tier 3, our most at-risk students, they're going to receive between 35 and 40 minutes of instruction from our reading specialists 4 times a week, because they have to, by New York State mandate, be given instruction and remediation by a certified specialist. So they will be pulled out of their classroom during the specified intervention time to receive instruction from our reading teachers. During that time, we will employ our level literacy instruction intervention for grades 2 and grades 3, as well as a longer duration and more intensive implementation of the Quick Reads program on grades 3 through 6. The result, could you take me back one? The result is turning the RTI pyramid upside down, where we have over 75% of our students in Tier 1 functioning at or above grade level and minimizing the number of students in Tier 2 and Tier 3. Please note that achieving for all students is the goal of RTI. If we go through the process and we notice that after trying Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 strategies with assessment and looking at data, and the student is still not improving, we will then refer to the special education department for added resources or convene an IST meeting. And last but not least, so how do we monitor something as large as RTI on a scale with all of our elementary children and A.B. Davis Middle School? We will engage in our superintendent's data idea, his baby, Managing for Results, MFR, where teachers will create goals for students for each marking period. They will chart their goals, and then they will use evidence-based strategies related to their goals to ensure that students are growing. Goals and strategies will be assessed, addressed, and enhanced and changed after every 10 weeks if necessary. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Do we have a goal, a specific set percentage or a number of students that we can project to say, you know, due to these programs that we're implementing like RTI, we project maybe a 5% growth from a level 1 to a level 2? I'm saying it from a state standpoint, but from...
So RTI is the system by which we move the students and close the gap. The programs are what we use to implement an RTI. We haven't crunched those numbers yet because we just received the state numbers, but Dr. Jagnanzin and Mr. Gallo and I will have a projected goal, because as a department, we will be providing the board with our goals of how many students that we are going to move in between the tiers through K through 8.
And Managing for Results is designed to do that, where teachers are expected to make predictions about where they want their students to be by the end of the year and work backwards, using a backwards design. So based on that assertion, Where do I need to be first marking period, second marking period, third, and you monitor and adjust your instruction and your strategies if students aren't moving along that continuum or if they're moving at a faster pace than you anticipated.
I know Dr. Gorman has shared our RTI manual with you. You will all receive a hard copy of that document which outlines in detail all of the processes and the protocols and the steps for RTI. There is a tracking program that we will use through EdVistas, through our staff track, which will digitalize everything so we won't have to do it on paper.
And before I conclude my report, Dr. White Wallace, I want to publicly thank you for doing such a stellar job with getting our full-day pre-K program up and
Thank you.
operating.
Thank you.
A great opening.
Please come by and visit. Please come by and visit. We'd love to see you. And I will be harassing all of you to come read to our lovely babies. So please come by and visit. The door is always open. We'd love to see you all. Have a great night.
Speaking of full-time pre-K, Mr. Superintendent, can you please maybe elaborate a little bit to the public in terms of where we are currently in terms of full-day pre-K and where we expect to be and what we're waiting for to implement more?
Sure. We have, go ahead, jump in.
Sorry, I'm the director of pre-K too. I have like 8 jobs. Don't worry about that. So where are we? So we took a large step this year and applied for the full-day pre-kindergarten grant from New York State. So we applied for a grant that was about $2.8 million for us to convert all of our half-day existing classes into full-day classes. So I spoke to them last week, and we are under review, and it's looking pretty great right now. So we are hoping to hear something in the next 2 weeks that we will be able to convert all of the classes in the 6 schools to full-day classes, which means we will double the amount of pre-kindergarten classes that we have in the district, as well as add additional classes at our CBOs that we have throughout the city. Our goal for 2017 is to provide all 750 students with full-day pre-K, and you'll be hearing more about that as this year goes on. We'll be planning for that.
Can you just repeat that? You said we're going to double classes, so now we have two half-day classes.
Right.
going on.
So I have to take those classes and make them single full-day classes.
Sounds great. Yep.
You're very welcome.
And we'll need to rely on some of our community-based organizations or our service providers because we won't have the space that we'll need in order to be able to fully implement that.
And speaking to that, do we expect that there'd be a period in time where we do take those children within our facilities, or do we even have the space anywhere, or are they just not ready yet?
My long-term vision that I'm saying publicly for the first time is to create an early childhood center that would be full-day pre-K and kindergarten in one complex. That would be my long-term vision for the district.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, I guess, is reports from the president. And I just want to say welcome to for the new year. And I want to thank the new teachers, and I want to welcome back the tenured and older teachers. And hopefully we'll have a great year. I know we had a few hiccups today, but we're getting by that. And I want to say thank you and welcome. And that would be for the president's report. And next on the agenda is board members to take anything out of the agenda? Anything?
I don't want to pull anything.
Pull
but
any
I don't
con-
want to pull it, but I do have a question on one. So should I pull it first? I know that's typical.
If you have a question on it, or do you want to pull it and we'll vote, and then you can ask the question?
All right, so
You wanna pull it?
That's the process. Let's pull it.
Okay.
The number on that particular one is the where are you here? It's 6.7. That's what it is on mine.
Requisition for expenditure of funds for
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Okay, we'll pull that.
I forgot to say it in the back, y'all.
Okay, so, anything else, anyone? All right, so approval of the consent agenda items? Motion?
Second?
Trustee Zamora? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Okay. All right, Omar, any questions on your pulled?
Yes, on 6.7, if you open up the quota, the quotes that's attached to it, we have some information that's redacted. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. I don't want to speculate on what it is, but I'm trying to figure out why.
Dr. Gorman, this is your tab, is it not?
Yeah, I do believe the Pearson quotes have to tie in with the state contract that ran out, and they had to be reestablished as the state vendor. The purchase orders were actually cut earlier in the summer, but then I think the purchasing department, Mr. Silver, told us that we have to follow, they have to be reestablished as state-approved vendors for us. And that's why there's a lag here, otherwise it would have just been through the entire order at that time. But it's just part of our regular ordering system, it was having their contract actually, I don't understand the purchasing part, kind of should just help me with that, but they have to be a state-approved vendor, so I guess they needed just a letter of establishment.
I think,
Just has to be reestablished.
I think we're.
No, but I'm talking,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the areas that are blacked out on the proposals. If you open it up, at least on mine's there, I don't know if it's on everyone's, right? That's right. On mine's, there are numerous areas that are blacked out. And I don't want to assume what they are, so that's mine. So is it possible just for us to?
It looks like it was a scanner actually, or.
Might be wrong.
I mean, tell when I scanned in, it may have blacked out, but I could definitely get that. Because if you look down, it wasn't blacked out as it goes down.
Too consistent to be blacked out by the scan.
So I'm going to suggest that we pull it, and
Do we have the original?
or can we upload it now and re-vote on it after we vote on the rest?
We could track that.
Okay. All right, so it's pulled.
Okay, so it's already pulled.
Okay.
All right, so it's pulled, so we'll continue till you get that back?
Before we leave, there are a couple of folks here I'd like to acknowledge. Those folks who have been granted tenure tonight. If you're present, if you would just stand and let us know who you are.
I'm Mary Beth Rose. I work at Thornton High School. I'm one of the literacy specialists in the building and the avid web teacher.
Well,
Thank-
congratulations.
Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
That's it for tenure?
That is
have
it for
more.
tenure, yes.
All right, so we'll move on and then we'll vote on that later. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we will,
We are up to,
Oh, sorry, it's my fault.
okay. We are up to
yeah, we are, committee report.
committee reports. Great. Committee reports. That's what you want to hear. Committee reports?
I could start with the Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee. Basically, we have started some curb appeal improvements throughout the district, and one of them being the entrance to the pre-K area, the sidewalk renovations over at Pennington as well, and general painting at the high school. And we have plans to move forward systematically throughout the district to give a much better curb appeal, much better presentation and improvements of the grounds and playgrounds for the children. And we look forward to putting more aspects of this initiative in a forthcoming